How can I help you, Natalia?
I want to be the first person to enter this 5-on-5 women's elimination match.
I appreciate that, but with only 5 spots, I mean, why you?
Why me? Why me? Because I can teach everyone in this women's division well. And let them lead the way. Show them all the beauty that they possess inside. And give them a sense of pride. To make it easier. To beat Raw.
Did you just quote Whitney Houston?
No. No, I didn't. I don't care who SmackDown faces. I just want to dance with somebody.
Welcome to Review a SmackDown. It's John Pollock. And for the first time in the history of this show, I'm not joined by Wai Tin. I'm joined by Braden Herrington.
Hello.
Oh, those are the familiar introduction that everyone wants to hear.
Yeah, I'm trying to get it really over, that intro. So
I want to know who's doing worse right now. Me, who has been under the weather since Sunday, or you, who have just finished how long of a shift? How many hours?
An 11-hour shift.
11-hour shift. It is 9 a.m., and here you are, ready to chat about SmackDown. No one will ever accuse you of having any lack of dedication.
Yeah, I am the hardest working member of the Law family.
Definitely.
Next to John.
No. Number one. Number one, Braden.
Never. People don't even know what you do, John. But, yeah, I am pretty tired, but you sound sick, so, yeah.
I'm keeping my distance from you, as you can probably see.
I'm probably still going to get sick, but it's okay.
I'm through the worst of it now.
That's all right.
You know that feeling when you know you're getting sick, you can feel it just rising.
That's when I drink a lot of tea, get prepared.
I got sick on the worst day possible, which was Sunday afternoon. I could feel this, and because Sunday night, I do the Law. Sunday and Monday nights, I'm up so late. I'm up till like 3 a.m. most of those nights. Yes. So it's not ideal for getting sleep and trying to get over an illness, especially when I have to wake up so early.
And your job is talking.
It is talking, yes. That though my voice has not been affected, it seems okay. But Monday was a mess. Tuesday was a mess, and I had to interview a bunch of UFC fighters on Tuesday. So again, keeping my distance from people as I do these interviews.
So if anyone cancels fights because they're sick,
blame it on me.
Who did you interview that may or may not get sick? Because now we know.
Well, the good part was I was at the further end of the desk on the Fight Network. But Daniel Cormier was here in town. Anthony Johnson was here in town because they're headlining the UFC 206 card. 206 in the 6, Braden.
That's crazy. I didn't even put that together till literally right now. That's amazing. Are they need to market that like that? Are they? Quick.
I believe Daniel Cormier has used that.
Okay.
That phrase.
I did not. I was over here at the Fight Network, where I was working these past 11 hours. I just kept watching the 205 presser with.
Yes, we are still airing that because
I know, we aired
it's like the craziest press conference.
I literally was just watching it right before this, so for the millionth time. But wow, the 206 in the 6. Yeah, that sounds good. I'm sad that I'm the very, very casual UFC fan. So now I'm actually talking about UFC on a podcast, which is crazy. But even I wanted to see the dream match that is now not happening. So I'm not going to go to that event.
Oh, so you were very disappointed about George St. Pierre.
I don't even know any of the other fighters. I just really wanted to see that fight. But now I don't get
Probably
to see it.
not happening.
I know, but never say never in the world of wrestling. I don't know.
Yeah, we're not talking about wrestling now, Braden. Any lines like that, we'll just blame on your 11 hours of work prior.
For sure,
to this.
yeah. If I say anything stupid, which I always do, it's because I'm tired. So.
Is there any wrestling programming on the Fight Network that has caught your eye of late, Braden?
Yeah, New Japan Pro Wrestling. I feel like I want to go to Japan just to see these events. Whenever I get a chance to watch any of our programming, if I'm looking at our monitors, our screens of the shows. Anytime the Access show, we air the Access show, which is the New Japan show. Anytime that's on, I just watch. Most of it's like matches from 2014, 2015.
Yeah,
there hasn't been any like newer ones, but I just will rewatch these matches over and over again. Like last night I was watching Nakamura and Okada. Probably watched it like twice because we replay them a couple times. I also really like Ring of Honor. Obviously, Ring of Honor is really good. and I was watching CMLL and AAA. Those are more of my casual viewing. I'm not too into those, but New Japan is really where just watching all these matches that, I mean, I've seen some of them, but again, some of them I haven't. So it's just like opening my eyes to so much. Man, Japanese wrestling is crazy. Where was I missing out on?
Yeah, when I get a chance to watch some of those episodes, I try. I just sometimes it's with everything else that I watch in a given week. Yeah. It's hard to go back and watch older stuff. But I never really saw a lot of those episodes during the first run because we don't get access here in Ontario. And on top of that, they weren't even shows that really populated that much online either. So whenever I get a chance to catch them, I do, because we're still, we're airing them chronologically, so we're still in 2014. If you're mentioning Nakamura Okada, that was probably
the G1 final. It was the G1 final.
So,
I was watching the G1, all the G1, and then so it was cool.
So eventually we're going to be switching once the announcing changes, but we're still on Mauro Ranallo and Josh Barnett at the moment.
Yes, I love listening to Mauro, so super cool. But it's going to be JR.
Yes, it will be Jim Ross and Josh Barnett.
Yeah, okay. That's good, too. That's all right. But I love Mauro. He's just great. He's fantastic. So I love that show, and I love Ring of Honor. And then I've been watching Impact as well. But we air a lot of older Impacts, like TNA Epic or Greatest Matches. So it's pretty much someone compiling just best of TNA for me to watch all the time while I'm at work. So really, it's just fun to watch that stuff as well. But yeah, it's great. Fight Network.
What else is going on in the world of Braden Herrington?
Oh, man. Well, I just did an 11-hour shift, and then I'm recording Review a SmackDown with you. And then
I'm familiar with both those facts.
And then I'm not even going to sleep. I have I have a driving lesson to go to because I don't.
That sounds like a horrible.
I know.
Order of events.
When my driving, this is going to be my fourth lesson. My driving instructor, like I told her, I said like, hey, listen, I do a lot of nights. Like I try to go with your schedule and my schedule, so it's like kind of hard to get these lessons. So she wasn't available any other day except today. So I was like, it's okay. And I knew that I already agreed to do this. So it's going to be fun driving lesson.
Oh my gosh.
Watch out if you're on the roads in the 6 later today, because I'm going to be behind the wheel for like only the fourth time. Yeah.
Wow. Take it easy on him, folks, if you're out there and he cuts you off or does something nefarious.
3-point turns. I'm learning those, man.
Oh, boy.
It's great.
They're exciting.
Yeah. I mean, you don't need to...
Do you have to do the in-class portion?
I did that already. I did that a while back, and then I just got lazy and didn't do the in-car lessons.
Did you do that over the course of, like, weekends, or did you just do a crash course?
No, it was like a week. It was like 2 weekends, and then that was it.
That was it?
Yeah. Well, it was like long.
Oh, they're like full days, right?
Yeah. But
because I did it when I did it, which was years and years ago. You had the option of doing it like 3 hours each Saturday for like 8 weeks. And I was like, well, and this was in the summer. I was like, that sounds awful.
That sounds bad.
Or you could do it in 4 days at the end of June. And I did that. I did it 4 days, and it was like full school days, essentially. It was like 8:30 till 4 or something.
Yeah, that's pretty much what I did.
And then you had to do the driving portion.
Yeah, so I'm doing that now. And it's
the driving portion, what freaked me out was the first time I ever had to go on the highway.
Oh, no.
Have you gone on the highway yet?
No, God, no.
But it's nothing. The second you're on the highway, it's just like you're on any other street. You just adjust to the speed.
I'll be honest. I'm really scared of like parking because I just don't want to hit someone's car. I just don't want to do that. I don't want to be.
You mean like parallel parking?
Just in general parking.
Parallel parking is an art.
Yeah, I don't want to do that. It sounds awful. I don't know how to how is that even a thing? Watching people parallel parked is like insane to me. I don't know.
It's more just. You pull up to the side of the car that you're going to be parking behind.
Sounds hard.
Put your signal on, and then it's just maneuvering back in. Always put your hand on the back of the passenger.
Yes.
So that's my confidence. It's like I feel I'm directing things by having my hand there. It's so like scary. I'm angling the car with my hand.
I've literally been practicing just like normal parking, and it's like freaking me out because I just don't want to be that guy who like nicks someone's car, like just goes like, sorry.
In fairness, though, every single person has like bumped a bumper, and that's why they're called bumpers.
Okay,
that's not a car accident. That's just a little love tap is nothing.
Well, that's what I've been doing lately, and
as long as you don't crack anything on the guy's car.
Yeah. Like I haven't hit anyone yet, and I had a
bumpers are designed for that tiny for parallel park or beginners.
I was driving the other day, the last time I was in my lesson, and a TTC, which is a Toronto giant bus, city bus, was behind me, and I was like freaking out, like, oh my god, what am I doing? Because like so far I'm just doing it during the day, kind of in a suburb area where there's not a lot of cars, so I can like practice to drive. Like this is my only 4th lesson is later today, so I'm very, very new and fresh. So I had a bus driver like give me a dirty look and pass me because I was going so slow, when in reality I was just like, go ahead of me, please, because I was scared to get hit by a giant city bus. But other than that, I'm okay, and I will let you know how my lessons go.
Well, I'm glad to hear things are going well. You are, I know this in my head how old you are. You are actually 25.
Yes, correct. 91, baby.
So you've been eligible to drive for almost
for
a decade.
Yeah, for a while.
So you've gotten around to it. You have beaten mouth by decades.
Yeah, that was when I told Jason originally that like I was going to start. Jason has been bugging me to drive since I've met him. He literally, I'm pretty sure, since working with you guys, he was like, "Hey, get your license," and like right away. And I didn't do that. So
he thought less of you.
Yeah. He's told me like, "Hey, even mouth doesn't drive." So now I have a cell phone. So
you're ahead of the game.
Yeah, I'm all right, but. Yeah, millennials don't drive, especially in big cities, especially in Toronto. It just doesn't happen. Too expensive.
Yeah, a lot of people don't. I mean, you also do have to commute somewhat, right?
Yeah. I just figured I'm 25. I should probably learn now because...
it's a good option to have, Braden.
Yes,
driving.
Yes, yeah, I feel that way. So I'm smartening up and I'm doing that, so it's okay. I'm good.
Before we start, because I might forget about this, we did a contest on Review-A-Raw to give out copies of 2 WWE DVDs that are out, and we did a trivia question asking people the name of the Colorado governor that appeared on Raw Monday night. Braden, do you want to hear about these DVDs?
Yeah, I do.
WWE turns up the heat for its biggest event of the summer with SummerSlam. Oh. And now you can own SummerSlam 2016 on DVD and Blu-ray. In a confrontation 15 years in the making, Randy Orton faces Brock Lesnar, Finn Balor takes on Seth Rollins, and the WWE World title is on the line as Dean Ambrose defends it against Dolph Ziggler. Plus, since day one, Brock Lesnar has conquered every obstacle in his path of destruction. Witness his greatest matches and moments in Brock Lesnar. Eat, Sleep, Conquer, Repeat. Available now on DVD and Blu-ray. Seamless.
I actually want to watch that. Is that one?
You know what? For coming in and doing this, I will give you a copy.
Oh, man.
Actually, yes, I'll give you a copy.
He's like, do I have them on me? All right, I do. Okay.
I don't have them on me, but you will get a copy. So anyway, we asked people the name of the infamous Colorado governor. Did you notice this man on Monday night and Brock's... during Goldberg's return. Did you notice him in the crowd?
I did. I was like, I didn't know who it was.
This was John Hickenlooper, who was the legit governor of Colorado, who was there in attendance for Goldberg, and they showed him chanting Goldberg's name. He was next to Goldberg, to me, the star of Raw Monday night.
I love this man. I don't even know who he is, but I'm a fan of his policies.
Well, the winner is Dave. He is at D School. And I chose him based upon his Twitter profile that included the statement, once rode an elephant through a Taco Bell parking lot.
Wow.
So for that reason alone, Dave, you're the winner of these 2 DVDs.
I want to hear that story.
It sounds like quite the story.
A Taco Bell.
I wonder if you went through the actual, the delivery, the pickup line.
I don't know. Maybe he was just hanging out with the
drive-through is what I was trying to describe.
Maybe he was just hanging out with the mayor of Colorado, or what is it?
The governor.
The governor of Colorado too much, and thought he was with in a Taco Bell parking lot. Sounds amazing.
Did you see the Bill Goldberg return Monday?
Man, I'm young again, 91. Any time I've ever seen Goldberg is.
Did you watch WCW during his time?
Again, I didn't watch WCW when it was airing because I was young. I don't know. I was probably watching Scooby-Doo and stuff.
That's crazy.
However, becoming a WWE fan when I was 13, 12, I just decided to watch everything in order. So I did watch a lot of Goldberg and things like that. And I've seen some of his matches, at least his highlighted matches. And I mean, it was okay. I was okay. I wasn't a huge. Maybe I missed the boat on it, but I wasn't too excited to see. I was intrigued to see him on Monday night, but I actually really loved it. So I thought it was.
I thought it was one of the best segments of the year.
Yeah, I 100% agree with you. I don't know. Everything he said just sounded so genuine, like he was speaking to me. I don't know. I loved it.
I just thought everything was great. The crowd reaction.
Yeah.
You could tell this guy was moved by the reaction. Having his kid there in the front row. I just thought it was so awesome. I don't think there was any way you could have made that return better on Monday.
I don't know. Something about it just was tugged at my heartstrings a little bit. Maybe it was because he mentioned his kid, seeing him live for the first time.
What reaction do you think he'll get in Toronto at the Survivor Series?
I feel like he's gonna. Everyone's like, "Oh, he's gonna get booed. He's gonna get booed."
I don't think so.
I don't think so either.
And I didn't even think that before Monday night. I just felt that they're really going to treat this like this dream match because it's been so long. It's very different circumstances from the last match. I don't feel there's that carryover of Toronto fans that might dislike this guy. But after Monday night, I can't even imagine, unless they do something terrible with him on any of his subsequent appearances on Raw. But man, how could you boo this guy after Monday?
Yeah, definitely not. He looks like the nicest guy, talking about kids and being a hero and everything like that. I don't know. He just seems like the most genuine, superhero. I think the fans are gonna treat him pretty well. I don't know. To me, I asked all my wrestling friends, hey, what do you think about Goldberg and Brock Lesnar? And everyone who is pretty intense fans, they all want to see that match. So to me, everyone I've asked, I'm talking about the diehard fans who just I know are in Toronto, who I hang out with or see or talk to, they all are interested in this match. So and that was before he showed up on Monday night. So now I'd say people are really excited to see him in the 6.
Yes. Are you going to any of those weekend shows?
Yeah, I will be going to NXT TakeOver, and I will be going to Survivor Series. But I decided, 2 is enough, and I don't need to go to Monday Night Raw. But now, maybe I need to.
I keep forgetting Raw's here on that Monday night as well.
I might tell any listeners of what's next, maybe before or after the TakeOver event to, come out, grab a drink or something like that. But follow me on Twitter and find out for that. But yeah, I'm excited for both of those shows. Which show are you most excited to see of those two? Because you always verse the pay-per-view versus the NXT TakeOver.
At the moment, there's no we kind of know the TakeOver card and Survivor Series. We know all the key matches. We don't know all the participants for the elimination matches for Survivor Series. So it's kind of hard to look at Survivor Series now, other than it's kind of this shell of a card with your main event.
Yeah.
I think the atmosphere for Goldberg-Lesnar, I don't think that's going to be this
big match feel.
Yeah, I think that's what they're going to create out of this. I think it's going to be a pretty incredible atmosphere for that main event.
I'm pretty cold on Brock Lesnar lately, but no matter what match you put him in, I feel like it's a big match feel now. From the Randy Orton match that you mentioned a little while ago to this next Goldberg match, I just feel like instantly he makes matches feel important and big, almost like when UFC is announcing a comeback fight or something like that, like the GSP versus Anderson Silva fight. It's almost like when you put Brock in against someone like Goldberg, who hasn't wrestled in so long, it just instantly makes it special and a big match feel. So I instantly want to watch this match. So yeah, I'm hyped.
Well, we're going to get into SmackDown from Tuesday night. It was their second straight night in Denver, Colorado at the Pepsi Center. No John Hickenlooper at this particular WWE show. He was taking in his one wrestling show for the year. It started off, and the whole show was built around James Ellsworth. He was kind of the focal point of Tuesday night's show, and he's in the locker room, and Dean Ambrose walks in sporting a new James Ellsworth T-shirt, which just has his face on it with that goofy look on his face. He says it's 100% cotton because cotton breathes, and he wants him to have all his oxygen, which I guess is a reference to the altitude of Denver, Colorado. you are the T-shirt connoisseur, Braden.
I already have
Is this
two
going to
on its
have a
way.
little cult following of people that buy this shirt?
I mean, if you follow James, what's his name? James Ellsworth. If you follow him on Twitter, he actually had, because the line that Dean Ambrose used, I believe last week on SmackDown was,
Anyone that has two hands has a fighting chance.
And that was the thing he said in the Braun Strowman promo, I believe. So since that, his first initial WWE. What do you call it? Appearance. That's the word I was looking for. I'm tired. Remember, he said that in his promo, and he's had I don't think it was a pro wrestling tease, but he's had these shirts made with that on it. But now he has his first official WWE shirt. He's going to get that WWE money. So hopefully it does well.
He probably got a better definitely got a better royalty rate out of pro wrestling tees than WWE.
Well, I don't know. It's just his face. I wonder if it's just are they going to pull it right away, or are they going to leave it up there and just see what happens? Are people ordering?
I feel this guy is definitely going to be on the Survivor Series card.
Yeah, I'm down.
And if that shirt is there, Braden, either
man.
you or Shane, I know one of you is going to buy that shirt, if not both.
Told you, I already have two on its way. It's coming.
There you go. So then we have Randy Orton coming out, and he feels he's losing his mind. And that's a bigger problem for Bray Wyatt. He has torched every last ounce of sanity he has, and he is coming for Bray. And then we go to the back, and there are a group of druids in sheep masks, and Bray Wyatt is inside of a coffin. And he calls him Randall, and he's going to take him on a journey. States that he's having fun, and he is here. That being Luke Harper, who came out, and Morrow is asking how you can see the light in the darkness. And Otunga just responds, I don't know, Morrow. I don't know.
I love Morrow when he yells things, because I know that you're a fan of that, the where's Kane kind of thing. Every time Morrow does that, it makes things really...
Yeah, he asked where's Kane, which, I mean, talk about a cliffhanger last week that no one gave any thought to for an entire week. Where was Kane? And you essentially got no answer to... He just disappeared, and then he reappeared this week. Randy Orton took on Luke Harper. Harper went for a suicide dive and got caught with an Orton forearm from the floor. And then he's going for a superplex when the lights go out, and Bray is brought out in the casket. They come back from the break. Orton is on the floor. He beats the count back in. Harper hit a Michinoku driver for a 2 count, then did the gator roll. And the crowd reacts to Harper nearly being thrown into the casket. And Orton does his comeback, which picked up the crowd. It was pretty dead up until this point. Maybe it was the effect of the Druids in person. And the power slam was hit. He then went for a draping DDT when Bray ran into the ring for the DQ finish. And there was a post-match attack, and then the casket opens, and it's Kane.
You got your answer.
Now, I don't want to say that anyone was listening to Review-A last week, but we reviewed In Your House Mind Games, which pretty damn similar here to how Shawn Michaels and Mick Foley's match ended, where the casket was open and there was The Undertaker out of nowhere. And this place lost their mind in Philadelphia. And here, not quite.
Yeah.
And Kane comes out, and Orton hit the draping DDT to Bray, and then they're both setting up for a chokeslam RKO to Harper and Bray when the lights go out, and now it's Bray and Harper that disappear, only we're not asking where they went, and Kane just sets off the pyro to end this segment.
Man. When the caskets, when I was a kid watching older matches of anything that involves caskets, I was instantly oh my God, I got to see this. Is so crazy, so cool and mysterious. This reminded me more of the Heidenreich era with the casket. It didn't do anything for me. I didn't really like it. And Kane kind of just, I don't need to see Kane anymore. He just looks like someone's uncle dressed as Kane. I don't need to see it anymore.
You're not going as Kane for Halloween?
No. I don't know if anyone should be going for. I don't know. I don't want to sound negative, but this was not the greatest episode.
This feud is literally death now.
This did nothing. I didn't like anything about. The only thing I liked was the Michinoku driver in the match.
I feel this is going to build to a casket match now.
I guess so.
With Orton and Bray, and
why?
I would argue it does not have the legs to get to the Survivor Series, but I think it's going to go until Survivor Series. Because, I mean, as much as you have so many bodies dedicated to those 3 elimination matches, that's 40 people to fill up the tag, the women, and the singles elimination matches, plus Goldberg and Lesnar. You still have to fill a 4-hour show. So you're going to have additional matches, whether it be the title matches, and I think that it could be Orton against Bray Wyatt or some tag concoction involving these four.
No, I feel like the tags are going to lead up, and then finally it's just the singles and the casket for whatever reason. I just don't get this at all. All I know is like I prefer the caskets to the weird video effects with the mind game things. Like I don't know. I still don't like it at all.
It's all wrong for Randy Orton. This feud,
weird.
it's just I don't think people like watching Randy Orton in these supernatural feuds,
no, it's too cheesy.
It's not helping Bray either.
No, definitely not. I don't know. Everything here was just super cold. The only guy I'm interested in is Luke Harper. The guy just came back from an injury, and now instantly he's just kind of the lackey again. And I don't know. It's not doing it for me.
Andrea DeMarco is with AJ Styles backstage, and he can't believe this is happening tonight. He calls Ellsworth a fat, skinny turd. What a visual. And he knows that Ambrose will find a way to get involved tonight and says this could be all like WCW all over again with David Arquette winning the title. And then under his breath calls Ellsworth a wet noodle of a man with such disdain. And he vows to find Ambrose if he costs him tonight. And he basically cut this promo on Dean Ambrose for actions that Dean Ambrose has yet to commit tonight. Yeah. But he was so angry at Dean for what he thinks he's going to do tonight. And his, to quote Matt Hardy, his premonition was very on point tonight.
I loved the David Arquette line. Like now I'm gonna go home after my driving lesson and watch Ready to Rumble because I still have it on DVD. But I
love how you glossed over the Bill Goldberg run, but moments like David Arquette, that has a special place in your mind.
I'm a fan of the Scream series, so David Arquette has a special place in my heart. But I like AJ Styles. AJ Styles is my favorite thing going in 2016. From January still up to now, like he has just been my wrestler of the year. Anything that involves him, I am instantly attracted to. Even with James Ellsworth, it's fine, it's cool. I loved. You said like the two lines about this how he's skinny and he's fat and he's a wet noodle. I loved that throughout the whole night, like everyone was just calling him strange names. Like they just come up with so many one-liners to call this guy. It was just so funny.
JBL called him an alien.
The best one was he looks like a turtle that doesn't have a shell. And then I looked at him and I'm like, oh my god, he does.
They were making fun of his body, his chin.
The best was like
everything.
Like how are you gonna hit sweet chin music on him because you can't because he doesn't have a chin. It's great. I love it.
Alexa Bliss and Naomi had another singles match. Bliss was hiding behind the referee and then called for the break in the rope, so she's been studying Toru Yano, which is a reference you can get now watching New Japan with the break in the ropes.
Okay.
Naomi hit a springboard cross body, getting a 2 count and a sliding D. Then there was a drop toe hold, and Bliss just barely landed on the bottom turnbuckle, almost came up short here, and then rolled to the floor as they went through the commercial. Bliss then clotheslined her on the floor and got into control. They had a sequence where they just seemed off for like 30 seconds, and then Naomi hit a split-legged moonsault, got stopped on the top, and then Bliss yanked her off and hit the Twisted Bliss for the win. And after, Renee interviewed Alexa, who said that the fairy tale for Becky Lynch ends in 3 weeks. The Wicked Witch is dead, and on November 8th, she will be the fairest of them all.
I love Alexa Bliss, and actually, I was more impressed with Naomi in this match. I mean, split-legged moonsaults are always cool to watch.
She did a lot in this match.
And I love her, I love this whole, like, rave gimmick. It's so weird, because, like, literally in this city, people dress exactly like her, even crazier to the extent, like, in normal day life. So, her coming out with this gimmick, I don't know, it's cool, it's, like, it's modern, whatever, but I thought she was impressive in this match, but I really liked the post-match interview with Alexa, kind of hyping up this match that maybe no one will watch because it's November 8th. But
do you follow Becky Lynch on Twitter?
Yes, of course.
As a fan of puns.
She's great, yeah.
She's in another league. I could
Becky
never
Balboa.
compete at her level.
Yeah,
She had one last week where she said, just had a conversation with someone about hair extensions. I guess you could say we've bonded.
Oh, man.
I love them.
Yeah. So Becky's
so
your favorite, eh? Just because of that.
The puns.
Yeah, for sure.
No,
fantastic. She's good on her social media game. She's good. Love her.
Then we had the return of Apollo Crews, who has been MIA on SmackDown for weeks and kind of was just here to stand in the ring.
Was he really there, though?
That was his role tonight.
Still
stand there.
Action, yeah.
Curt Hawkins came out as we teased his debut. The intro is just more Curt facts, and there was one at least specified to Apollo Crews.
Yeah.
And how he can't do anything to protect himself. Hawkins gets on the mic and he says, all you have to fear is fear itself. And Curt Hawkins, with the look into the camera and the zoom in, and says that Apollo will have to change his name to Apollo Lose.
You didn't like that pun? I like that one. That was the only thing.
Some participation points.
Yeah. I didn't. I love Curt Hawkins before he even exited WWE, just because I think he's a real good worker. I think he gets wrestling. However, I don't like this at all.
Hawkins is a talented guy.
Yeah, he is.
He's been saddled with a gimmick that I don't care who you are. This is some tough stuff to get around.
Yeah, I don't get it at all. Like I remember going to house shows all the time and like trying to chirp out Curt Hawkins. He's quick on his feet in ring, and he's a pretty smart guy. I've always been a fan of him. But this is just so strange. Why is it? Why? Just have him come in and wrestle. You don't need this silly Chuck Norris weird thing. I also
feel this would be. I wouldn't have so much a problem with what they're doing with him if it wasn't for the fact, like the delayed debut. It just feels like we're going through everything with Eva Marie all over again.
Yeah,
it's like
too
we
soon.
had just seen this.
We just saw it
with another character, and instead of it being something. Like it gets heat with the audience. Instead, it just feels like such a lack of creativity in how we're going to introduce new heels.
It didn't. I don't think it even worked with the crowd. Didn't like. It was just like there was no reaction. So that's the worst. Kind
like
of
Eva,
reaction.
It was very effective.
Yeah, with Eva, it worked. It made me go, "Oh, that's great." Like that made me go, "Damn!" Like they got me. But this is just like, no. I'm sorry, it did not work. Sorry, I'm not going to wrestle. It's okay. Why are you here?
Carmella came out, and they recapped the attack on Nikki from last week, and then Nikki showing up later in the show to chase Carmella. She gets on the mic and brings up SummerSlam, and hearing Nikki's music for her first pay-per-view, and she's sick of everyone going nuts for Nikki. She says she is here to spill the tea. Is this a new phrase?
I don't know, but like, why would you waste tea? That sounds bad. As an avid tea drinker, that sounds like, why? What are you doing? Don't waste tea.
Nikki comes out and tells her, whatever you have to say it to my face. And she says that Nikki can get away with anything because her boyfriend is John Cena. And that's why she's really fearless. She doesn't hide it, but Nikki says she doesn't talk about her relationship on SmackDown and says, shame on you as a woman. And the crowd chants, shame. They were just chanting it the night before for New Day, so they had it ready. They were ready for this chant. And Carmella reminds her of every internet bully she deals with on a daily basis. And Carmella calls her clingy and a gold digger, and then throws to a edited package from Total Bellas showing Nikki as being needy around John Cena. And we came back, and Nikki says, wow, you can edit. And says she paved her way, and she pays her own bills, and she wears the pants in her relationship, and says she worked harder when they didn't believe in her, and then told her career was over with her neck injury, but still came back. And Carmella mocked her catchphrase as something John Cena came up with, and says Nikki used her looks to get her foot into the door, she used her sister, used her boyfriend to become a celebrity, and then she takes off and left.
I mean, it kind of sounds like Carmella was just telling her like straight facts, but I don't know. I'm not a fan of the whole just doing this to promote the show. It was strictly that's what it seemed like, and that was it. Like they didn't fight or any altercation. That was kind of the end of this. I don't know. I mean, I've watched Carmella on NXT for so long, and then now she's just kind of doing the same shtick. I like that she's a heel. Maybe it'll get her somewhere, but I'm going to sound like I'm just Mr. Negative today. I just didn't care for this. I was just like, oh, okay.
I thought Carmella was actually pretty good in this segment. I thought Nikki was fine, but I thought Carmella, this was one of her better outings in terms of speaking. And I'm curious what your thinking is, because watching NXT, and you've seen Carmella.
Yeah, at least she's going. Like, you're right. At least she's going somewhere. It's just like, I don't know. I always kind of get the same vibe from these two. It's like they're like, I don't know. They come off like she's Nikki Bella light. Like, I don't know. I guess with a heel turn, it's better. But for me, it's just like, I don't want to watch the match, so I don't really.
Do you think you have a negative view of Carmella because you saw her essentially from square one in NXT, where they signed her? And I mean, that is, they don't like to call it developmental any longer.
Right, yeah.
But for a lot of people, it is developmental. And you're seeing them as they're right at their beginning stages.
It's more so because I watched their match at No Mercy. and now I don't need to see a second match. So I just was like, okay, you're just promoting the Bella show, which I mean, you got to do, but it was, I don't know, it was okay. I feel like I like her when she's more vicious, like attack her more. I liked the John Cena puns though, like the making fun of like how you're dating your boyfriend, like it's that works for me, but. I don't know, maybe make it a little bit more edgy, kind of. I don't know. It was just there for me. I didn't care about it. Maybe it's just because of the Bellas thing. I'm just not into the reality show.
Have you watched any Total Bellas?
No, not at all. I'm just not. I like Total Divas, and then it kind of was like fading off for me, and some of the characters are not even coming back, and it's just this one. I just don't really. I would watch it more so for John Cena, but other than that, not really interested.
Renee is with Ellsworth, and his hand is trembling. He says somehow he survived last week, and he couldn't believe he was on Talking Smack, and Daniel Bryan was talking to him. And now he has a title shot, and he's like nearly tearing up here as he says that one day he will get to tell his grandkids that he fought for the WWE title. Dude, this guy is great.
Yeah, he's
like
so
there
good.
is nobody that could play James Ellsworth like this guy can.
How did this come about? Like, I can't wait to hear like this guy. You need to interview him in the future. Definitely add him to your list because like, how did this come about? Because he's playing it as if like they were like, hey, we're writing this character, this storyline. And
listen, I guarantee you, there was no thought of this guy beyond that one night with Braun Strowman, and he just struck such a chord with people.
It's so good.
It was like, okay, you're going to be given like 10 seconds when Byron interviews you to come up with a line, and just essentially you're being thrown out to die with Braun Strowman. And he had this clever line. He had this great look for the role he was playing.
Yeah,
and his facial expressions are outstanding.
I mean, yeah, it's on a shirt now. His facial reaction is now on a T-shirt.
Like, this is the perfect example of some guy that was just given a sliver of the door being open, and he was able to slide in because this guy was able to get himself over and just turned into this cult thing.
I follow him on like his social medias, and like he's a family guy. He always posts pictures with him and his kids. So it's like here he was kind of like tearing up and stuff, and I like it reached out to me. It was like believable. I was like, man, this is true. Like, where was this guy like a month or so ago, working in like smaller arenas and stuff like that? Now he can charge a little extra when he goes to these events. So I thought it was great. It's so cool how they're using this.
Next up was a six-man tag with Dolph Ziggler, Heath Slater, and Rhino against The Miz, Kenny, and Mikey, who are getting the go-around here. Their second time around here in the WWE. They're back for yet another week.
Man, I mean, again, born in 91. Watching wrestling as a teenager.
Oh, these were your peak years.
Spirit Squad were the top heels, man. So Ken, I heard you talk about how you kind of have a soft spot for Ken Doane. Man, I'm a huge fan of Kenny Dykstra. Just, don't use the name Dykstra. Just will never get over it. But I hope he stays. I kind of want him to stay.
I remember interviewing Randy Orton once in 2005.
Wow.
Okay, so this is 11 years ago.
Yeah.
And a year before it was, 8 months before the Spirit Squad debuted.
Right.
And he had been going down to OVW and working with Ken Doane, who was like this super hot prospect that everyone was talking about. He was like 19 at the time. And Orton just sung this guy's praises that he was going to be this breakout star. Just brought him up when I was said about future guys, and he was immediately targeting Ken Doane. So, I mean, the potential was never realized. He got saddled with an awful gimmick, and then afterwards, I mean, he had that awful run as Kenny Dykstra. It's
I didn't like it.
God.
I remember in OVW he used the Arcade-One or something.
Well, that came out of the feud he did with Orton. He was pretty much positioned as the next Randy Orton, essentially,
I don't know,
like the young guy.
I heard you say that, and then when I was watching him here with, is it Mikey, the other one?
Yes, Mike Mondo.
Yeah, and I don't know, he just, like, if you take away this gimmick here and, I don't know, just make him an average guy, give him a different... Did they call him Dykstra on SmackDown, or did they call him...
Just Kenny.
Just Kenny, yeah. I don't know, I feel like he could be a guy that you have on the roster. I always liked him, but... I was cool to see the Spirit Squad back when they keep them on forever. Love it.
Slater and Rhino did an insert promo, and they were saying, why did they help Ziggler last week? And Slater said, because he has kids and they need role models. And Rhino says he just doesn't like male cheerleaders.
Yeah. He does.
There was a big ECW chant as Rhino started with Mikey. Kenny came off the turnbuckle into a belly-to-belly by Rhino. Ziggler was in, and Miz avoided a super kick and headed to the floor as they went through the break. And then Maurice grabbed the foot of Ziggler. He turned around, and Miz nailed him from behind. They got the advantage. And then, out of nowhere, Ziggler super kicks Miz, and both are down. The hot tag is made to Slater, and man, they really have designed these tag matches and six-mans around hot tags to Slater, and the crowd gets into them when they build up to Heath Slater and the hot tag.
I'm so happy for Heath Slater, because talking about guys that I'm just a fan of, Heath Slater is just someone, since his debut with the Nexus, I've just like, he reminded me of Edge. And then when Edge had this like retirement party here in Toronto, I don't know if it was like filmed or anything, but he put over Heath Slater in that, saying he reminded him of himself. And I'm like, yeah, like that's what I always thought. I always thought he was so funny. And then now that the fact that this whole arena was going crazy cheering for Heath Slater to get into the ring, like I feel so happy for the guy. I want to see him advance more. I kind of want to see him break off and be more of a singles guy. As much as I like this whole run that he has, and it's real hot right now, I kind of want to see this gimmick where it's like, yeah, I have kids, I got bills to pay and stuff like that. I kind of want to see that more in like a singles run, maybe advance on to like a mid-card title or something like that, because he is talented. He's so fun to watch, and like, oh, I just love when he's on the mic and stuff like that. But this crowd was so hot for him. It's crazy.
So Slater fired up. Rhino came in, gored Mikey, and then there was a roll-up on Kenny for a 2 count, but then Miz nailed Slater from the floor, and Kenny rolled up Slater, and they got the victory. Oh. So it looks like Kenny and Mikey are going to get at least a temporary run here on SmackDown.
Are we going to get Spirit Squad versus Rhino and Slater for the tag titles in the near future?
Probably.
Yeah, definitely.
This kind of went in that direction.
Yeah, for sure. That's something where it would lead to. I mean, you pinned your tag champions, so they deserve a shot. It's just there's 2 of them, and they can't really do that finishing move that they used to do. That lift up, high spirits, I think is what they called it.
Yeah, that's a tough spot on Rhino.
Because they tried to do it, like, didn't they try to do it a week or so ago?
They could do it to James Ellsworth. See? The guy's a utility player.
You could go. Yeah, it'll never be as high as they got Shawn Michaels when they threw him to the table.
Yeah,
that was the best.
Right.
So, yeah, great. I'm excited for this.
Daniel Bryan's on the phone with Shane McMahon. They're talking about how they have to start assembling the Survivor Series teams when Natalya walks in. And she's pleading her case to be the first woman on the Survivor Series team, and is doing so by quoting a Whitney Houston song. And Bryan asks, "Are you quoting Whitney Houston?" She says no, and then she says, "I just want to dance with somebody."
I didn't know where it came from, but it was still pretty funny because it's just random.
And then she asked if Daniel's following Tupaz on Instagram.
I am.
I know you are. I'm not surprised.
I need one of those shirts, man. Those are so funny.
The Denver Broncos were shown in the crowd, and then Jack Swagger took on Baron Corbin, a rematch from No Mercy, this one much more one-sided. Corbin did a promo saying that Swagger's whole existence is a joke. The people don't care about Swagger. They just have fun at his expense. And tonight, he's not just beating Swagger, he's beating everyone around the world that says we the people.
Man, that's a lot of people.
This was, I mean, you were stating this earlier, but this was a heel promo where, again, it seemed, this seemed factual coming from Baron Corbin.
Yeah. This whole thing, I mean, I watched this match, but at the same time, I feel like I didn't because I don't remember anything except the end of days. So
that was the match,
yeah.
Braid. Like Corbin sent Swagger to the floor, attacked him with forearms, brought it back, hit the end of days, and he won clean.
I mean,
this was just a meltdown of Jack Swagger, and I don't know. I really wonder what the thinking was to move this guy over to SmackDown to essentially facilitate even a smaller role on SmackDown than he had on Raw, and this feels like it for Swagger.
Yeah, I thought for sure that this was going to lead to like maybe a different kind of character or something, and then it just led to him jobbing out again. It's just weird. And Baron Corbin, I know some people love him, like my dear friend Bartender Dave, who just loves Baron Corbin, but I don't know. He's got the end of days, and man, hitting it on Swagger looks impressive, but everything else just did not. I don't know. Didn't like it.
Natalya is still showing photos
this was so funny.
of her cats to Bryan. When Ambrose walks in and he's wearing a referee's shirt on, And he's of the opinion that he'll be the referee tonight and that he'll call it right down the middle. And Bryan has to break it to him that he's not going to be the referee tonight. But he offers to let him be the timekeeper, the ring announcer, or the commentator tonight. And Ambrose says, I'll do that. And walks off with Bryan asking, well, which one? And in fact, it would be 2 of the 3.
Right.
AJ Styles, James Ellsworth for the WWE title is our main event. Ellsworth comes out to music and he's wearing his shirt. And the crowd is chanting Ellsworth like the same way they would chant Goldberg.
Man. It was like, I need to get the clips now. What was louder? Like, legit. This was crazy.
Oh, this was not the Goldberg level. Let's be honest, Braden. Let's reel it in a little here.
I was just mentioning that they were crazy for Slater, and they were just insane for Ellsworth. It was so fun. I was so cool. This crowd is crazy. They need to come back.
This was, back-to-back nights.
Yeah, good for them, man.
Denver gets... thumbs up for their reactions on both nights. That's 5 hours.
I mean, everyone in Denver is just in a good mood. That's probably why.
Well, we'll find out when they're here for 3 straight nights.
There we go. Toronto. Maybe
Toronto.
It won't be so nice.
Not to mention, there's a house show the Monday night in Kingston.
Wow. Well, there we go. I can't afford to go to all 3 in Toronto, so maybe I'll go to Kingston.
Maybe you can do a 3-hour drive to Kingston.
Oh, wow.
Ambrose does the introductions and just... kind of builds up Ellsworth, makes some Rocky references, and then runs down AJ in the ring introductions. And then Ambrose goes to ring the bell, and he just does it repeatedly. Now, I told you I was pretty sick. I was doing awful during this show, to the point, Braden, that like I had the worst headache, and it lasted like 16 hours, okay? And this bell...
So you didn't want to hear someone ring a bell for like 20
Holy
seconds?
Christ. Like... This made me want to kill Dean Ambrose because of my physical state.
Effective heel work.
This bell was just like, please stop. And it just wouldn't. And finally...
You were like AJ Styles.
Oh, my God. I was angrier than AJ Styles. I totally sympathized with the WWE champion here. And it was just Ambrose fucking with AJ throughout the match. And he did the bell ringing. He announced a commercial break. And this was whenever AJ was in control. They come back. Ambrose is plugging the James Ellsworth T-shirt on the Titantron. JBL is disgusted here that James Ellsworth is getting a title shot and lists off some of the great champions, including Hulk.
Yeah.
He mentioned Hulk.
Bruce Banner was WWE champion. You didn't know that?
So, yeah. The surname was absent. There was a snap suplex into the corner, and Otunga says that James Ellsworth has the chin that got the win.
I popped hard for that.
Ambrose reads off the car information for somebody in the crowd that has their lights on in the parking lot.
I thought for sure he was going to like name a car, and then AJ was going to be like, that's my car. Like, what are you doing?
And he runs out, gets counted out. And he stops Styles from hitting a superplex, plugs the program that you can buy, and then Styles and Ambrose do this spot where they toss him out of the ring, in the ring, and did this like 8 times to the point that Ellsworth must have been blowing up.
Oh, he looked so like tired. Like you're just getting tossed. Like getting tossed into the ring is one thing, but you're getting tossed.
This looked like one of the drills they'd put you through at the performance center for the tryouts.
Yeah, there you go.
Just like in and out of the ring in succession.
Yeah.
Styles is then on the turnbuckle, and he's looking down at Ambrose as he's climbed up, and Ellsworth yanks the foot of AJ, and he hit the super kick that this crowd lost their minds for.
I lost my mind. I thought
the
it was
no
over.
chin music.
Yeah, that was so funny.
And this was the whole point of the match, was one near fall, and
the crowd, though, this crowd was
they bought the near fall. To me, that made this match already, it succeeded because they got people to believe James Ellsworth was going to pin
so
AJ
good.
Styles.
I actually, like, for me, this was all a comedic thing. And, like, it's funny and everything, but this was so great that they got you. Like, they got you.
Styles then came back and hit this big spine buster, and Ambrose is mocking AJ's strikes. So AJ just starts destroying Ellsworth in the corner and in the ropes with elbows and forearms, and he won't stop as the referee is counting, and the DQ is called because he won't stop. And Ambrose announces that he is the loser, hits the dirty deeds on AJ, and announces the winner, who has more wins over AJ Styles than John Cena, James Ellsworth.
There you go.
I thought this whole thing was, you got the near fall. AJ, to me, came off still strong because he just beat the hell out of this guy. You progressed AJ and Dean Ambrose. You keep this cult figure of James Ellsworth, who has 2 wins over your champion.
Cult figure is the right word.
Yeah, I didn't really have any issue with this at all, and I like the fact that it was. I didn't have a problem with the DQ finish. I think that AJ showed way more aggression in this match than usual. I like this.
Yeah, like, listen, we're in these, like, filler weeks. Like, SmackDown has all the way till Survivor Series. That's a long time to, like, build up things. So it's kind of like these, like, filler weeks where, what can we do? Well, this is what they did. I kind of liked it. I didn't like most of the rest of the episode. However, this main event, it was more of a comedy kind of thing. But I kind of liked it. I really love that sweet chinless music, whatever they call it.
The no chin music.
It's just like the crowd just went nuts for this guy, and he's a good worker. I kind of want to watch him have actual matches.
So that was SmackDown. I thought it was a decent show. I don't think it was a great show. It had its moments, but I think James Ellsworth, for all this guy's, like, the guy's making the most of everything that he's in. And I mean, the crowd is still with it. I mean, This is not a long-term deal you can go with, but he's hot for the moment.
He's James Ellsworth it.
Oh, boy. Wow.
That's right. I kind of think, like, clearly it's leading to AJ and Dean, another singles program.
They set that up. I didn't get to see all of Talking Smack because my head was about to explode, but that was just for myself, not because of SmackDown. I did see some of the segments, and the best segment, I saw half the show, and AJ stormed in, and this was great with Bryan. He was just pissed at him about having Ambrose be part of this, saying Bryan has turned into the authority that he once fought against, and he's now corrupt. He wants a match next week with Dean Ambrose, and Bryan makes the match. It's a non-title match next week, but if Ambrose wins, he then gets another title match.
Ooh, so Survivor Series.
That probably is where they go. AJ against Dean for the title. Probably with some stip, because this will be, I mean, they outlined it here. This will be the 4th match that they've had. I guess that includes the 3-way at No Mercy, match. But that seems to be the way they're going.
What, like a 2 out of 3, or James Ellsworth as the ref?
I imagine James Ellsworth as the referee next week, and it leads to Ambrose winning.
Okay,
somehow.
There you go. All right. Well, yeah, I'm kind of excited. I'm interested. Like, Dean Ambrose has kind of been cold, but he made me laugh. So, and his matches with AJ,
he is pretty good in these weird roles as ring announcer or referee.
But also, I really liked their match, AJ and Dean's match, where AJ did win the belt at Backlash. So you know what? I'll give them one more match because I'm kind of interested into that. So yeah, I'm down for that. I'm in. They got me.
Do you have to get going for your driving lesson? Or
no, I'm good.
You can do feedback?
Yeah.
All right, let's go to the message board, lawradio.proboards.com. Our first one is Mark from Vaughan. This may have been the worst SmackDown since the brand split. Nothing of consequence happened, and I hope they've gotten the comedy out of their system with AJ Styles. Did you take that as... I understand that opinion. I didn't think this was so much comedy. In fact, I saw even more serious AJ coming out of this, especially with the Talking Smack segment.
The Talking Smack thing is like where everything kind of fixes itself. Even I watched the Talking Smack, and Baron Corbin came out. He was the last guest, and even he kind of got off a little bit more for me, and I'm not a fan of him at all. Even he came off more serious. I think this Talking Smack definitely helps your characters like progress, and I don't know.
Was there anything else notable on Talking Smack for you?
Mojo Rawley.
Yeah, I did see that segment where I didn't know what to make of it. They just like yelled with Daniel Bryan wearing the Hype Bros hat.
I don't know. Something about it, too.
This to me was, you got to see these guys' personalities more, and you either love these guys or hate these guys. And I don't think you need this segment to see a different side of them. It's just a higher volume of what you see on TV from them.
Mojo Rawley, I wish he was just like this great worker who had excellent matches, because then maybe he would be my favorite just person in WWE. Because like this, I don't know if he's acting, because it's like the way they make these jokes, like, oh, he goes to the club, whatever. But he's just like so crazy, and he's hyped. I mean, he's hyped all the time. It's just, I don't know. I just can't get into it, because then once you have your matches, it's just nothing. So
I have a feeling if you were out Survivor Series weekend, like you went to TakeOver,
man,
and then you went out afterwards,
let's go.
and you ran into Mojo
I'll
Rawley
take him out.
at
Rebel.
1 a.m.,
Let's go.
I
I'll
think
take
you
it.
two would be best friends.
I'll take him out to Sound Academy. Has now changed to Rebel in Toronto. It's the new hottest club in the city. You got to go there, Mojo. I'll take you. Let's go.
Okay, this question from Mark is better for you because I didn't see the Corbin segment. Do you think the promos Corbin cuts on Talking Smack should also be used on the main show? I like the mercenary athlete angle.
Yeah, they mentioned how he was on the football teams and everything like that in his training camps, and he basically, to sum it up, he's like, oh, I'm like a one-man guy and I keep to myself. I'm a loner and I'm a drifter. I'm here to make money and win and go forward.
Did he say drifter?
I don't know. I don't know if he said that word, but maybe Renee said that word. I know he said loner and stuff like that. And then they mentioned that he has a fiance and that all he does is like he'll do his work and then he'll go home. So I mean, I'm guessing he still goes to house shows and stuff. But other than that, he goes home and he sticks to himself. So I don't know. It made me.
I think that's fair. When me and Way went to SmackDown a few months ago, we went out afterwards and we were just grabbing some food, and it was where a bunch of the wrestlers were staying, and so there's a bunch of them scattered around the restaurant and stuff. And Baron Corbin's there, and the whole time he's off he's on the phone the whole time. Like and we were there for a good hour or so. So that's probably legit.
His fiance. He says like I'm just with my fiance. He said something about like the 1%. People find that someone, and he is with that 1%, and she's with that 1%. I don't know. It was weird. That part was weird, but I don't like the guy. But same thing. Get better in the ring, and you'll be my favorite. Just I don't know. I liked him.
Well,
here,
they put him over like a monster.
I know. It's just like it doesn't help.
Tuesday.
Like you're just doing the finish, and that's it. So I don't know. I need to see more from him. But yeah, it was all right. I'm okay. Go forward with it, but I don't know. Maybe go with the Braun Strowman route. Of
all the call-ups, let's just keep it to SmackDown since WrestleMania. Who do you think is doing the best right now? I mean, and we'll include like Carmella in there as well. Let's include the draft and WrestleMania. I mean, on SmackDown, you've got Baron Corbin, Apollo Crews, Alexa Bliss, Carmella, the Hype Bros. I guess you're just including Mojo there.
American Alpha.
Yeah. Who, I mean, we got no Usos and no American Alpha on Tuesday night.
Yeah. My Tuesday nights are lacking Alpha because I loved seeing them in NXT, and then they were stripped away from me, and now I don't even get to see them on SmackDown. So I don't know if there's an injury or something, but I just, where are they? Why aren't they doing stuff? Why aren't they?
I almost feel they would have been. I don't know. Like, those two are a great babyface team, so I don't know if they really would have worked on Raw if you tried to present them as heels. But I think that as, like, the collegiate athletes, you could have gone the heel direction and ultimately got to the babyface role.
Right.
I know they're excellent as babyfaces with the hot tags, and they're very much designed for that, and that's how they've been working for so long. But you almost feel they would have been better fit because the New Day has nobody on Raw, and that's kind of their own fault. They kind of didn't do anything with Anderson and Gallows, and now Cesaro and Sheamus. That to me is yet to click. But American Alpha, they just kind of feel that they just don't have much of an idea for them at the moment on SmackDown.
Yeah. I feel like they're just waiting to let them out, and the push will.
It's like Heath Slater and Rhino just caught fire out of nowhere because you would have figured the program would be the Usos and American Alpha.
I feel like Bliss is maybe my choice, is like my best one, just because like her match tonight it had some missed spots, but she's all right. I don't know. Out of all of them, really none of them have really made me go, wow. Like, did you? I haven't talked to any of my friends. Man, did you see Apollo Crews last night? Because it was great. Like, none of them. So I don't know. None of them really caught my attention. This whole call ups thing. Yeah.
Okay, you are up.
Oh, right. Sorry, give me 1 second. It is Matt from Pittsburgh. That main event sucked. They did what they always do and took something that was great fun and then ran it into the ground. Ambrose was cringeworthy and terribly scripted. Ellsworth looked like he didn't want to be there, and AJ looked like a total dweeb for a second week in a row. I owe everyone an apology for enjoying last week's segment so much.
Wow.
That only encouraged them to subject us to this garbage. I'm sorry, fellas.
Am I being too positive on that?
No,
I'm not saying it was the greatest segment of all time, but I just didn't. I didn't think it hurt anybody involved.
It was really like I didn't really like anything else on this week's SmackDown, so it was only it kind of saved it for me. But someone said it was like the worst SmackDown. I could probably agree with that, but I kind of like this last segment. Yeah,
I mean, when you look back at this show, to me, the only thing that stands out for me is James Ellsworth. I mean, this felt like a show right in the middle that has 5 weeks to go until a pay-per-view.
Like this was a filler SmackDown, but for me it's AJ Styles now because like Talking Smack is like I count it as a part of SmackDown. Like if you're gonna watch SmackDown, maybe watch Talking Smack because AJ Styles came out and he was so angry and he cuts the promo, so it leads to something now. So I kind of like that.
Jesse from the 6. SmackDown was pretty boring tonight. I thought the Carmella and Nikki segment was pretty good, and I liked the aggression Corbin showed against Swagger. He's still got to shave his damn head, though. The main event was fairly fun, and that super kick and near fall spot was dope. The ending was confounding in its stupidity, however. Styles should have just pinned him. Apart from the traditional Survivor Series matches, how many SmackDown matches do you think we'll see in Toronto? Just a WWE title match, presumably Dean against AJ. Yeah, on Raw, they certainly teased that Owens and Jericho would be on the Raw team. I hope that's not where they go. But, I mean, if they have a plan mapped out for Owens and Jericho, they may feel it's too early to do it and not just dictate doing a title match because they're in Toronto. They may have plans to extend that to the Rumble. So I could see that happening. If they have a long-term plan for this split, I mean, we'll have to see how that one plays out because that's one of the best things going in WWE.
Yeah, I said that AJ. I always talk about NXT, but AJ Styles is the thing I have to see every week, and to mimic that, Chris Jericho is the thing. Like Chris Jericho was always one of my favorites as a kid, and seeing him like this resurgence, this is maybe his best work. Like everything about him I have to watch. So yeah, as a Canadian who's going to Survivor Series, the Canadian dream matchup right now that people will talk about for years, Owens and Jericho, if it doesn't happen, okay. But if it's going to lead to something down with the storyline progressing and everything like that, I'm okay with it. But man, that match sounds so good.
Yeah, it's like the opinion is that, people want to see that because it's Toronto and that's it's just a great dynamic. But at the same time, it's like, no one wants to see them break up so soon.
Yeah, I know.
So, I mean, if they have an actual long-term plan and they don't go to it at Survivor Series, I will give them the benefit of the doubt because thus far the seeds have been planted. It's been going at a really good pace. They're showing the hints of it. We'll see where they go.
I want to see more of that, but yeah.
Because it's hard.
Crazy.
After you do the match, it's very difficult where you go after that.
Well, they have a triple threat this next Monday, right?
Yes, which I hope is more just DQ essentially Owens and Jericho, and you put some more some subtle stuff in there. I don't want to see those two do too much on Monday.
Like a part of me really wants to see this match, but yeah, I get it if it doesn't happen. But yeah, I really do want to see it. Charles in Louisiana. 2K Bray and John. Charles tweeted me and said that I am a few followers away from 2,000 on Twitter and that I need to rename myself 2K Bray. So he told me I have to tell you that.
Well, you really stunted your growth on Twitter by changing your name.
I'm going to change it to 2K Bray.
Okay, well that might be your next change.
Once it happens, if
you ever get verified or Brayified on Twitter that you can't change your name or else you'll lose your check mark.
Oh, man. So I either have to stick with this or come up with a better name.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
The Bray D.
That's it.
You should never come up with a name where you have to say it to someone and then explain how it's spelled. That's just a bad idea.
Well, it was before it was like something from like college. So now I don't know what to do. I can't have my name, Braden Herrington, it sounds like a really boring white ass name.
What was it before? Joker Radio?
Yeah, it was like my first one. I just joined. I don't know, man. I need a Twitter consultant. Charles says, like everyone else said, this show is pretty boring. Unlike most, however, I'm actually a huge fan of what they're doing with Ellsworth. It really helps to make SmackDown Live to liven up to its moniker of being the land of opportunity, where any man with two hands stands a fighting chance. Seriously, though, imagine how happy guys like Neville or Zayn would feel if they had the opportunities Ellsworth have had. Question for John. What are you going to do to help Braden get to 2,000 followers on Twitter?
Change his name.
And question for Braden. Which brand have you enjoyed more since the brand extension and why? I've enjoyed SmackDown more, but honestly, this was a really bad episode of SmackDown, minus this main event. Raw, I've literally been skipping stuff and just watching Jericho and Owens.
You know what's nuts? People always bring this up with like where Raw's numbers are, and some of that is just I think 3 hours has turned people off. But I mean, Tuesday morning, I was curious to see like what the YouTube numbers were for the Goldberg return because they'd put those segments up, and I'm looking, and here is like 16, 17 clips from Raw. That's like I look at this as like if I wasn't reviewing this show Monday night, I could very well find myself getting into the habit where I still want to follow along. I don't want to dedicate this amount of time, but I will spend 20, 25 minutes and watch these 16, 17 clips. It's all the major angles. It's the highlights of all the matches. And I could just do that every Tuesday morning and keep up with the product.
Well, that's exactly what I do, John. I actually usually...
They make it really easy for you if you don't want to spend a whole Monday night.
That's what I do. I usually watch Tuesday mornings or whenever I can, and I just kind of pick through what I know I want to see and what I know I don't want to see, like Titus O'Neil.
I'm just looking this up right now. I'm curious to see what... oh, boy. That was the
SmackDown. James Ellsworth numbers are going through the roof.
Like, look at this. Okay, for the Goldberg return, okay, they had a 2-minute clip that is up to 2.3 million views.
Good God.
I mean, now the rest kind of taper. The Rusev segment, 1.14 million. Like, there are, for most of these, it's all like 500,000 plus views for a lot of these segments.
Listen, us millennials, we don't have cable, John. We watch everything online.
Yeah, I'm just saying they do make it easy. And look at all these clips from Raw. The Goldberg actual segment, 3.3 million people.
And it's only Wednesday.
That's more than what the average viewership was for Raw Monday night.
Yeah, wow.
Now this is worldwide, but nonetheless, interesting stuff. Let us continue as Braden has a driver waiting for him. Burgundy from HOG. I'm actually a little surprised and happy that Heath Slater is still over with the crowd. I was really expecting his popularity to drop after his big win for the contract. I think he just needs a little more promo time on TV. Who needs Goldberg? We have James Ellsworth. That was Brian's quote on Talking Smack. Say what you will, James Ellsworth was right. One day he'll be able to tell his grandkids he wrestled AJ Styles for the WWE Championship on SmackDown. That is a fact.
Paul from New Jersey. I was actually enjoying the Harper-Orton match until Bray came out. Commentary keeps telling me how insidious Bray is, and just when you think Bray can't top himself, he goes to another level. When in reality, what the fuck has he done? Come out in a casket? Big deal. This sucks.
And the last one is PJ from the UK. I think Naomi had a great match with no botches for once. Alexa did not do much, which is frustrating. Natty changing her character to be goofy is not a good idea. She should be a strong heel captain for the Survivor Series women's team. The main event was funny, but AJ had to win clean. What he said during Talking Smack is probably what he really thinks. The world title is not supposed to be a joke. Finally, I thought Carmella and Nikki had the best segment of the show. Very solid. Carmella has improved on her mic skills. They managed to plug in Total Bellas without making it look like an ad. Baron Corbin was outstanding on Talking Smack.
Yeah, Talking Smack.
I'll have to watch this Baron Corbin segment.
No, what someone said about Natty. I kind of like the cat thing because cats are funny. I'm a dog person. I'm allergic to cats, but cats are pretty funny, and cats are really popular on the internet. So go with that. But I think I really need to see her in this Survivor Series match. Now, the fact that she mentioned it to me scares me that they're not even going to put her in it because he's like, oh, I'll think about it, and then doesn't put her in it. But how about you have her where she's like the crazy cat lady, but she's also she gets it done in the ring, she's like a badass because she is. I feel like
maybe her gimmick can be as a cat, and you have to pin her 9 times.
That sounds awful. No, please, none of that.
You and I are not coming up with creative ideas.
No, terrible. We're not. No, stop. And the Talking Smack, I've been watching it because it's just.
I love this show.
Yeah, it's so cool. It's like they even made a joke where they were talking about Mojo and Zack Ryder going out. Mojo always looking for girls at the clubs, and then they made a reference to Renee goes, "Oh, weren't you looking for someone at the club? Are you seeing anyone?" And then everyone awkwardly paused and then laughed. I thought that was very funny. So great.
So you can check that out. Mr. Herrington, thank you for stepping in and filling the shoes of One Way Ting.
Yes.
Braden will be back on Thursday with What's Next. Is Mr. Agnew off, or is he here with you this week?
This is his last week before he disappears for a little while, and then I'll...
Man, everyone's leaving us, Braden.
I know. What's going on? What's happening?
Well, I will return the favor if there is a week where you need to fill in.
Yeah, for sure, definitely. I will take you up on that.
Braden in his head is like, sorry, Pollock, I'm more than fine.
No, definitely. I mean, listen.
Well, he's gone for a while, isn't he?
I know. That's why.
Did he say 6 weeks?
Man, I don't know.
Man,
I don't know.
That's more than a wellness violation.
He doesn't tell. Well, maybe it is. Maybe I just written him off. Secretly, I just was like, nope, I'm done. So maybe I will contact you or Way, or I know bartender.
Well, Way, I can't make any guarantees. That guy is he's off the face of the earth. Last thing before I let you go, it is Game 4 later today.
Yes.
In the Jays series. No, it's Game 5.
Game 5, John.
And the Jays are now, at least on the board, it is 3-1 for the Indians. What is your prognostication for tonight's game? Or this afternoon's game?
We're out.
You think we're out?
Oh, yeah.
That's what I was saying yesterday.
Right now.
I had completely jumped off the bandwagon. But, man, they made a big comeback.
Oh, no. Come on
Tuesday.
They're just teasing you now.
I want them to eke it out to at least get one more game in Cleveland on Friday.
Yeah, sure. I'm not a huge sports guy, but yeah, whenever your town, your city is doing well and everyone's behind it, you just have to support your city. So definitely go Jays. But yeah, I think they're gone.
You know what's yeah. So if they win, they go back to Cleveland for 6 and 7.
And no one wants to go to Cleveland.
There are a lot of Cleveland listeners to this show, as I have learned.
I'm so jealous because I always wanted to go to the Rock
Did you watch the finger deal on Monday with Trevor Bauer?
Oh, man, that was disgusting.
Just leaking on the mound.
I've been watching a lot of horror movies lately because it's close to Halloween, but that was scary. That was gross.
Oh, there's going to be... That might be my Halloween costume.
There you go.
Trevor Bauer.
Damn. I didn't think of that. Good idea.
I'm copywriting
Maybe people
it.
won't understand, though.
I think it would require a Trevor Bauer Cleveland Indians jersey, which is way more money than I'm looking to put into a Halloween costume.
No,
what are you going for as Halloween?
I haven't decided yet, but maybe I'll be I don't know, a scary clown or something. They're popular.
Oh, you'll get arrested and probably punched in the face. Someone will. All right, that is going to wrap it up. You can go to liveaudiowrestling.com. A whole slew of shows are up. The Law from Sunday night. We have uploaded the entire half-hour interview that Dan Lavransky conducted with Cody Rhodes. Really great chat.
Yeah, it was excellent.
Covering tons of topics, the status of his name. If he was invited to the finals of the Dusty Classic at TakeOver, would he attend? As well as his work recently with TNA, going to New Japan that he's hoping to do. Lots of great stuff with Cody. Plus, we have Review a Raw from Monday with Nate Milton joining me. And then, as we mentioned, What's Next will be up Thursday with Braden and Jason Agnew. New MMA report will be up this week with Daniel Cormier. And, of course, The Law, Sunday night, midnight Eastern time, where Eric Bischoff will be on the program. So you can tune into that on TSN 1050 Toronto, 1410 Vancouver. We'll be giving out more WWE DVDs during Title Bout Trivia on Sunday. And I think that's about it. So follow him, The Brady, TheBrayd on Twitter. Let's get him to 2,000.
Hashtag 2K Bray or Bray 2K. You decide. Whatever.
Bray 2K.
Sure, yeah.
And we're out.